Now here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at this final turning point of Spyro Age of Heroes. The ending, Chapter 31, Epilogue. Note, I'm gonna go Yahtzee here. Now don't think for a moment that I pose an epilogue because of all the requests and suggestions from you, the readers. I've been living non-stop with enormous amounts of you writing and thinking this was how things ended, and you should be ashamed and spank yourselves for thinking I'd truly end the story this way. Though normally I would beat you all to death with a bad feeling. It was bad, but it was bad, but sorry, I forgot where I was going with that. So I've had enough death threats from you all, and dealt with enough of your tremendous whining, bitching, and complaining about how I killed Spyro and Trimmer. Wow, what was Spyro going to do? And my personal favorite, I'll tear your pupils and stab them in your eyes, you fucker. I was fully in line when I said that was the last chapter because it's the end of the trilogy, but not necessarily the saga. Every trilogy needs a conclusion, so here it is, incidentally. So stop reading this comment and get to reading. Always wanted to blow up in Yahtzee. LOL. Spyro. The gentle voice called the purple dragon from the darkness. Spyro. The purple dragon senses tingle as he felt the warm presence draw closer. Where am I? He whispered in his mind. A powerful tickle was shaken and opened his eyes. The figure before him was blurred but quickly focused. Standing before him was a long, sleek, slender-bodied dragoness. Her horns arched gracefully around her head, and her eyes were the color of a fiery sunset. Spine slammed her back down to the base of her tail before disappearing, though showing an uncanny resemblance to Spyro's. Her tail was tipped with an ornate spade, and Spyro noticed the many scars that crisscrossed her beautiful hide. Welcome home, Spyro. The dragon smiled, seeing that he was awake. Home? Spyro looked around and see the vast reaches of space and stars surrounding him. Beautiful luminous galaxies and stars solar systems spun and danced around them and in the distance, displaying every possible shape and color of the spectrum. Where am I? Who are you? What's going on? Spyro's mind was getting flushed and the dragon stroked his cheek. It's all right, Spyro. You don't have to worry about a thing. Your days of fighting have come to an end. So, we defeated Malefor? For good? The dragon nodded and Spyro sighed with relief. But a deep emptiness filled his heart as he looked around the universe expanse surrounding him. But it's such a price. The loss of the guardians of your world was indeed unfortunate. The dragon sighed sadly. But it was just their time. I should have been there to save them. Spyro. The silver dragon covered his face in her paws and brought her nose to his. You can't blame yourself for things beyond your control. You were only mortal. So what am I now? Spyro asked, raising and kissed his brow. The dragon released and stepped back. Spyro's eyes narrowed as he stared at her. Who are you? The dragon smiled gently and gazed out at the space around them. I am the guardian of the worlds, she murmured in a tone that seemed to chime like soft music. I am a celestial dragon, given the task of watching over the realms and the creatures that reside within them, draconic and non-draconic. She turned and walked back to Spyro. And you, Spyro, have been chosen to become the next celestial, to become the next overseer of the realms, the divine power that protects all who wish to live their lives in peace. The dragon extended her paw towards him. Are you ready? Spyro looked down at her paw and nose began to sweep over him. He began to raise his paw to place it in hers. He felt warm tingling all over. He was going to be the overseer of hundreds, maybe thousands of worlds. He would be watching over the lives being born and passing as ages went on. He could watch over the ones he loved. An image of Cinder and the guardian standing over him flashed before his eyes, and he jolted. Are you alright? The celestial dragon asked, mildly worried at his sudden reaction. Spyro looked down at her and turned her outstretched paw. He swallowed hard and set his paw down in emptiness. I can't, Spyro replied, hanging his head. I'm not ready. Spyro, I mentioned to you that you're proven to be a divine being. You are ready. I know. Spyro and I looked up into her eyes. But I'm not ready to leave yet. I still have a full life ahead of me. A life with Cinder and the others. He shook his head. I'm just not ready to leave that all behind just yet. Draco was suddenly surprised by his answer, but yet she smiled lovingly nonetheless. Oh, Spyro, you've nurtured her so much over the years. Are you sure this is what you want? The dragon nodded. More than anything else right now. I can't watch over the lives of others if I haven't lived myself. Ignace has taught you well. You're wise beyond your years and still so young. The celestial nodded understandingly. Very well, Spyro. After all you've done and been through, it's the least you deserve. But when the time comes and you're ready, I'll still be here waiting for you. Thank you. Spyro bowed his head. You have no idea how much this means to me. Then let's not keep your loved ones waiting. The dragoness stood up on her hind legs and opened her broad, expansive wings. They caused the universe to reflect off her silver scales, and Spyro found himself blind for a moment. Before we go, Spyro interrupted, I have one request. Cinna sat beneath the open sky. Tears streamed down her face. She held Sparks close to her heart, being careful not to aggravate his broken arm. The guards all huddled around one another, crying into each other's favors. Their salty tears stung their open wounds, but the pain in their hearts superseded any physical ailments they were bearing. Slowly, the other dragons approached them. Infernus cautiously crept up to Stella and nuzzled her slightly. The lightning guardian stared at him with wet, puffy eyes before stepping into his chest. Infernus cringed against the pain of his recovering wound, but draped his wings around her, hoping that the small gesture would help console her. Max walked up to Cinder and rested a clawed hand on her shoulder. Cinder, I'm sorry, he choked, unsure of what else to say. It's not fair, Cinder wept. Cinder Spyro didn't deserve this. He never did anything wrong. He was a good dragon. He was a hero to everyone and an amazing friend. He didn't deserve to die. I know he didn't, Cinder. Then why? She wailed, staring at me with her fierce green eyes. Why? Max was dumbstruck as his mouth fell open. After a long, silent moment, he hung his head. I don't have that answer, Cinder. I don't have an answer that will make you happy. Max. Cinder bowed in his chest. Max glanced, his eyes dropped, but embraced Cinder nonetheless. The other dragons warriors of the city all glanced at each other in mournful silence. The most men with smalls removed their helmets, and chief warriors knelt down on one knee, bowing in sorrowful respect. The sound of thunder had vanished, but no one seemed to notice. Cinder was still crying when she felt a warm tingle against her back. Cinder. The black dragon's paws lifted her head to look around. Spyro? Every head turned to look at her as she glanced around uncertainly. Cinder. Spyro's voice echoed in the destroyed chamber. This time everyone could hear it. The black dragoness's mouth hung open at a loss for words. The sun slowly began to force its way through the dark clouds above, opening a single hole and shining its warm radiance out onto the spot where Spyro had been minutes before. The guard's eyes widened as they stepped back cautiously. The other warriors poised themselves, waiting for combat should a new enemy emerged. From out the rays of sun, a single overflight appeared, and then another, and another. The orbs grew in number and size until at last a silver dragon manifested from their energy. She blinked a couple times and looked around the mass of ages staring at her in awe. On instinct, Max stepped in Cinder, protector in Furnace, held Stella close to him. Do not be alarmed. The celestial dragoness smiled warmly at them. I mean you no harm. Who are you? Cinder sniffled and stepped out from behind Max, holding Sparks closer with her wing. A friend, the dragoness replied, genuinely happy at finally being able to meet the black dragoness face to face. I've come to return someone that I think belongs to you. Cinder's heart skipped a beat. The silver dragoness lifted her right wing, and the light that shone from underneath temporarily blinded those in the chamber. As the light died down, Cinder's sparks peeked up from behind her wing. Everyone's eyes grew wide as the purple dragon stepped up from under the dragoness's wing. Spyro smiled at his dragoness when he saw the tears well up in her eyes again. Hey, Cinder. Spyro! Cinder's sparks cried and leaped for him, throwing their arms around him and crying tears of joy onto him. You're back, buddy, Sparks sobbed. We thought we'd lost you. Cinder looked in his amethyst eyes. It's okay now, Cinder. Spyro whispered and hugged them both back with his wings. Everything's gonna be fine now. I promise. The black dragon squeezed her eyes shut and squeezed the last of her tears out. The gods, dragons, and warriors looked at each other and smiled with relief. But one heart still remained broken, and Celestia glanced at Candace. And to you, young dragoness, she started, grabbing the guard's attention. The guns of the sword would not be complete without the full set. Another blinding light came from under the other wing and illuminated the room. Candace held her breath as she saw the figure emerge from the light. Chairman blinked several times before letting his eyes fall upon her. Oh, Candy, I'm home, he called in his usual goofy tone. Candace shook her head with a smile spread across her face, and tears freezing upon her cheeks. She bolted forward, her icy armor sharing across the floor. Yet Guardian tackled Chairman and immediately locked her lips with his in the most passionate kiss she could muster. Chairman wrapped his arms and wings around her, pulling her closer to him. Chairman, you big lug, Chairman sobbed when she broke away from his lips. I love you. I love you so much. I love you more than anything in the world. Chairman smiled and licked her chin. And words don't describe how much I love you, Candy. But I can tell you this much. He brought his mouth closer to hers and whispered, I'm not going anywhere till I've had a full, happy life with you. Candace felt her heart rate speed up and her cheeks flushed, but she didn't care. She had just got her most precious treasure back. I can see all's well with you, young guardians, then. Just as the dragon smiled, looking down at the young corpse before her. I should be taking my leave now. Thank you for everything. Spyro bowed graciously, and the others immediately followed his example. You have no idea how much this means to us all. The dragons only smiled and smiled at them. As I said before, my dear Spyro, it's the least you deserve. She brought her head down to Spyro, Sin, and Sparks. Take care of one another and may you live happily together until the end of your days. She glanced at Spyro. I'll still be waiting for you then. The Celestian looked up at Magnus and nodded respectfully. Farewell. She bowed slightly. The orbs of light began to break from her body and ascended to the heavens. Just before she was gone, she looked at Spyro again with a motherly smile. I'm proud of you, Spyro. I know your father would have been too. The poet dragon's eyes widened and his jaw dropped. Wait, what? He looked at Cinder with a look of astonishment on his face. The dragon's only smiled and laid her hand on his shoulder. Behind them, Turnic and leaned towards Magnitus. What's that? Magnitus only smiled and nodded as he looked up at the sky. A friend from a very long time ago.
10 years later.
Spyro! Cinder called as she leaned down the halls of Warfang. The adult dragon struck her head into the living quarters and looked around to see her mate standing before a reflecting stone against the wall. He was basically looking at himself and eyeing the silver stripe that read down his spine. He glistened beautifully against his purple scales and the various colors of stained glass tiles that the roof was now comprised of. The black dragon struggled. After all these years, you still haven't gotten used to it. It's not that, so I replied, stubbornly coming up to nose with his life mate. I'm just wondering when the day will come when I have to become nice celestial guardian. Cinder gazed at him flirtatiously. Well, I think that you should forget about that for now and enjoy your life with me. She brought her tail blade up under her chin and turned his head towards hers. Spyro's smile pressed his lips to hers. I love you, Cinder. And I'll never stop loving you, Spyro. Cinder growled out lovingly. Hey, you! Spyro! Cinder! Max King dashed down the hallway and poked his head in to see the two dragons in loving embrace. Oops. He cringed and put his head back in the corridor. It's okay, Max. Cinder calmly released Spyro from her grasp. What is it? The black raptor poked his head back in, and this time another head appeared alongside him. The dragon smiled politely as she rubbed affectionately against Max's side. We were just coming to get you. It's almost time. Okay, we'll be there shortly. Cinder waved. Max and the dragons dug back in the hallway. Cinder waited until the sounds of their footsteps and gentle laugh disappeared before turning back to Spyro. Shall we? I suppose it would be rude to keep everyone waiting. The two dragons moved towards the balcony and stepped into the warm sunlight. Spyro looked at his dragon and smiled at her beauty. She was free of the voices that she had worn for so many years and now donned the elegant breastplate Spyro had designed so many years ago. The planet Meadow was almost blinding in the midday sun.